Hello, the English speakers, and welcome to today. We'll talk a little bit about the panicky Zionists and some history and some other things. First of all, here is some snowberries that have a very fitting name, and a maple, of course, and then you see a blue spruce. Today we'll start by taking a big, deep breath. So I'm here to enlighten your blind spots. If you write a short for it in your note and you write it BS, then you read it out as bullshit. That, I guess, I can enlighten your bullshit also. That worked. So this protect, plow, patriot, or as we say in Swedish, bönder behöver beskydd. Farmers needs protection. It's much easier to convince people in general that they should help fight the evil propaganda than to convince them to actually, pay more for the food or help the farmers while they are busy in their lives. But saying no to Bill Gates' propaganda, that's of course something everyone can do, and everyone hates Bovaer. That's just evil. This is the thing that they poison cows with, so that they should burp less, because reasons just made up corruption. But bönder behöver beskydd, I wrote that as a comment to Peter Sweden, that I do not recommend because he's a Zionist garbage. But many of his followers loved my branding there, so maybe it catches on. I'm skeptical that Protect Plow Patriots will catch on, especially as you spell it wrong in USA. The plow. Elon Musk talked about universal high income, which is the best of scenarios when everything becomes robots and AI and everyone should have access. But that's not a sustainable solution. If you have plants, bacteria, animals of some kind, and they are special, we should give them basic universal income or universal basic income, because we want to save them for Fralda, for the future, because they are interesting and unique. So the same with individual humans. They should be saved and not, exterminated, so that we lose something for future, for the future of not only humanity, but the entire universe. But if you give people who are not adding anything, they can only, become more of themselves. Then you are creating a cancer. And of course, even cancers deserve to be preserved if you can. They actually do preserve some cancers in the labs, but you can't let it grow uncontrollably, and that is a discussion for the future. I looked at the channel. They use AI to generate images, but it's not so much AI. It's called Stone and Bone on YouTube, and they look at history and look at the DNA and DNA studies. So 1650, in the 7th century, suddenly over entire Eastern Europe there were Slavs. They just appear from nowhere. There were no Slavs that we know of. They just pop up in 200 years. They were suddenly everywhere. So did they invade? Had they always been there in the forests or something? It is somewhat clear that they did immigrate into Yugoslavia. Not the country, of course, but the southern Slavic area. Yugo means south in Slavic. So maybe The Illyrians that lived there, they did survive, some of them, but it was mostly new people who came there. There was a lot of climate change and social change in Europe and the rest of the world at this time. So it was chaotic, and it turns out that the Slavs, they had a different kind of society where they didn't have the hierarchies that were very much a part of life in the Iron Age, and then suddenly to adapt to all this changing environment they needed to have a more flexible structure in their societies, and that was something that the Slavic societies could do, and then they absorbed others and they spread their language. I assume that as they were so spread out, they were often slash and burn farmers, so they moved, and you could speak to people over a third of Europe sort of acceptably in Slavic, but you couldn't understand other tribes that spoke something very different. So by learning Slavic, you could talk to people in a other country also, might have helped them to expand. So it's easy to misunderstand, but what I find interesting is that we have the same situation right now. We don't have any extreme climate change, but we have an enormous change in society, how we are communicating especially, but also how we are making money, how we are trading, and what people are doing. So we probably need a new structure where we don't have the hierarchies, not the central banking system that is just a huge hierarchy built on blackmail and corruption. That might be suboptimal, and other structures might pop up in a similar way. We will probably use English language and maybe another kind of culture that will pop up and replace the whole thing. But I warn you, if you, for example, are from Poland and you see, okay, I have, of course, some Gothic roots. If you are from northern western Poland, you have Germanic genes, even though you speak Polish and have been Polish for thousands of years, but still you can have these genes. But you also sometimes get genes from Ireland and Wales and Scotland, which might not mean that you had some ancestry from there. It's just that you had a common ancestor from Scandinavia. So it's very confusing, and if you are interested in something about genetical history, Svante Pääbo, he got a Nobel Prize for his work on the Neanderthals. He is very smart, and he thinks about maybe I have missed some explanation, and he's good at that. But if he agrees on something, then it's probably true. But then we are all different. That is also important to understand. So we have this subspecies called Homo sapiens propagandator, and this Homo sapiens propaganda my Latin grammar is not perfect. This subspecies, they think that we are all the same, regardless of what culture we have, regardless of what genes we have, and regardless of what we eat and drink. We all become the exact same person, except Nazis. Nazis is a totally, completely different species, according to this propagandator. Very strange. They are usually blue-haired, but some are green-haired also. Weird. Nina von Haven. She was actually there in Kolmården, the zoo, where they had one of their caretakers of the wolves, and the wolves killed her. Nina told me the backstory. She had been there and she had been friends with the wolves, but suddenly the management decided that they wanted to be ruling the wolves with dominance instead of being, well, very nice to them. And that ended badly, and inexperienced caretakers also started to try to dominate the wolves, which apparently pissed them off so that they killed them. So it was a sad, bad management, according to Nina. So interesting backstory there. You should probably not try to dominate wild wolves. They will conspire against you, and that of course ends very tragically. Mel, Vilge Crazy Lady, she is still very much shadow banned. I really hope that Kenneth Owens will bash X for what they are doing. The X is doing a lot of very evil stuff when it comes to protecting Israeli supremacy. And Ben Gvir is being Ben Gvir, bragging about how great it is to torture prisoners. So that's what he's bragging about. And Mel and me and everyone who is sane says that no, there is no way that we will have any debate, any compromise or anything with Zionists, as they are supporting things like that. They are totally mad, evil, and they worship Satan. For example, Mark Levin, a Jewish supremacist on Fox News. And he is now getting really angry, and he is basically losing it. He demands that everyone who doesn't totally support Israel and have so everyone who criticizes Israel the slightest, they must be cancelled, deplatformed, and thrown out everywhere. Yeah, Mark Levin, we hate you, really. Not hate you, but as we care about you, but you are a cancer and you should go out. So they had this Republican-Jewish coalition, and they had a big event, and they wonder, why is Tucker Carlson so obsessed with us while they are having a big event criticizing Tucker Carlson, and they want to murder him basically and make sure that no one is listening to him, and they are hating everyone who does. And we have many reports from politicians that are publicly totally for Israel, but they show signs that they really do not like the behavior of the Zionists that treat them as bad wolves. And maybe the wolves, the corrupt pieces of garbage in Congress, maybe they will bite back or become traitors to the traitors. Something. Lara Logan, so she is not a bad person, but she is a Zionist, not the worst kind, but she's a good journalist, and she is presenting a question. Who benefits from if USA do not support Israel anymore? Who will benefit from that? Yes, Ian Carroll answered the obvious. The American people will benefit if USA just leave Israel. And he got a lot of likes on that. 73,000 likes after 1 million views. And that compared to Lara Logan. Her original post got a tenth of that, 5.5 thousand. So about 12% maybe of the people think that this thing with supporting Israel, that is good, we should do more of that, and 90% thinks that no, it's enough, Israel should get nothing, they should start behaving instead of demanding that USA is their obedient golem. But this is of course not Republicans in general, but it's the most influential and informed MAGA people, I would say, the ones who are behind Ian Carroll and people like that, Candace Owens. Jake Shields, he's an antiseptic person, and he says that there is nothing dumber than Christian Zionists. I don't know if they are dumb, but they are insane. I've listened to Mel explaining how they operate, and they are insane, and they believe in stuff that doesn't fit. They think that everything will become heaven if they just move all the Jews to Israel, remove all the people there, and then they will convince 2/3 of the Jews that Jesus is amazing. The others will be killed, sent to hell, and then heaven will become. And then they are not allowed to preach about Jesus to Jews because they sign a contract for that. So nothing makes sense, and they don't care. They just want power, apparently. But is there something dumber than Christian Zionists? Maybe. I'm not saying that he's wrong. There might actually be something even more dumb, and that's Hindu Zionist. Yeah, they exist, and they are so dumb that you haven't heard about them, maybe. Tulsi Gabbard is praising Trump for his words of protection for the Christians in Nigeria. So they are pressuring the Nigerian government to protect the Christians. And she's talking about these jihadi terrorists that are very mean to Muslims, but she didn't say that. But they are also mean and murders Christians. And they are, of course, connected to Israel because they are jihadi terrorists. So you know where they come from. And you know that they are lying about it. On Halloween, they did burn in Israel on the West Bank, Taibe, the former Christian city that is now burnt up by settlers. Of course, the Zionists are lying, and they try to debunk this. So Salem Media have many outlets, but if it's owned by Salem Media, then you know that it's Zionist lies. So no use to listen to them. But they tried. But it's well reported that this burning did happen, this Halloween Holocaust. So Pete Hegseth, he's saying that USA is preparing the troops to defend these Christians. So I assume that he will start to drone settlers and bomb all the IDF snipers. Oh no, Pete Hegseth is still talking about Nigeria, that they are preparing something there. The Sudan president is saying that it's CIA and Mossad that is behind what he called ISIL, that is ISIS with an L on the end, and Boko Haram, they are CIA and Mossad. As I was saying, I actually don't trust him, and I think he just made that up. But he's correct, of course. So that's no question. So in the Netherlands, comment from Eva Vlaar, you can call her, but Vlardingebroek, famous Catholic commentator. And she said that Wilders lost, and instead the most globalist party, D66, won. That's not correct. First of all, people are pointing out that Geert Wilders and his party are way too Zionist, and that's why they lost. So D66, are they the typical globalist liberals? They actually aren't. It's the most weird liberal party in Europe. So it was founded in 1966, that's why they are called D66, flower power kind of party. They have often been in the government since then. They are, they are liberal and they have views to get into the power. They are right now for the Ukrainian war. They are propagandized. I wouldn't say that they are really globalists, and they do have a strong non-liberal, not like the other liberals. They want referenda so that they should vote on stuff. They want local elections where everyone can join them and get elected without having centralized power support, and no other liberal party in Europe are behind, giving away power, but this is a core part of their beliefs. And they have had a shaky ride. In '94 they had 16 seats. In 2006 they almost got wiped out. They only got 2 seats, and then they got 19 seats, 24 seats, and in 2023 they only got 9 seats, and now they might get 27 seats. So they go up and down, and they have changed their views on, for example, immigration. Now they are anti-immigration, or at least very skeptical, while they were pro-mass immigration earlier. So they changed their minds, with the zeitgeist. Let's go back in history. John Adams, he was pro-Jew, and Washington himself seems to have been that too. But you remember Benjamin Franklin, he was not a fan. And if you are a Lutheran, Christian, Luther, he thought that baptizing Jews, that should be done from a bridge, and you should tie some stones to the Jew and throw them in the river, which will make them very much baptized. According to a meme, at least. Take that with some fact checking. But we know that Luther really didn't like them. X, as you know, is run partly from Israel, and it's seen very much more. I am still deleted, and X should get exposed for that. And now they have deleted a check mark on I on Palestine. So I on Palestine has been exposing the evil of the Zionist regime, and therefore they lose their check mark. Maybe it will come back, but then someone big needs to notice that, which sucks, because we who aren't big, we just get deleted. And still people on X, like Ian Carroll showed, really hates the Zionists, and they will get into panic, you can be assured. And be warned about that. But otherwise, have a wonderful Sunday, and protect Plow Patriots, and see you again tomorrow.